In 2001, national-level NASCAR racing returned to Nashville when the 1 1/3 mile Nashville Super Speedway opened and played host to the Xfinity and Craftsman Truck Series for the first time. Over its first decade, the track became a staple of the schedule for both series, expanding each to 2 events, while adding IndyCar racing for the first 8 years of its existence. However, without a NASCAR Cup Series date on its calendar, 2011 proved to be the track's final season, and it would shut down after choosing not to seek NASCAR sanction for 2012. My, how times have changed. In June of 2020, NASCAR awarded Nashville Super Speedway a Cup Series date, effectively bringing the track back to life. For the first time, it hosted all 3 NASCAR National Series in June of 2021. And tonight, it's race number 5 of the PSRA Open ARCA Series, and it's next on Track Limits Network. Good evening, everybody. Welcome to the virtual Nashville Super Speedway Race 5 Season 2 of the PSRA Open ARCA Series. Let's take a look at the race details for tonight. 115 laps the race distance. Stage at lap 30. No fast repairs. A green-white checkered attempt. 3 of them. We got them if needed. 100% fuel. Unlimited tire sets on board. Weather at 80 degrees. Humidity 61%. Clear skies. 7-mile-per-hour breeze. Track temperature 85 degrees Fahrenheit. Practice just about wrapped up here from the Speedway. We'll take a look here at the top times. Tom Pennell fastest thus far, then Bobby Hamilton Jr., Will Hewitt, Will Jones, Derek Welch. That's the top 5. Just about a minute left in the session. This might be just a real quick out lap for DW. And actually, we're going to take a very short break here. Looks like we do have a bit of a camera issue. Stay with us. We'll be right back. All right, there we go. All set, good to go. Just before practice concludes, black and red flags drop on the session. Practice in the books. Fastest Tom Pennell and Bobby Jr., Will Hewitt, Will Jones, and the one of DW, Derek Welch. So with that practice complete, qualifying going to start right now. It looks like Frank Griffith will be the first driver to grace the racetrack. Frank Griffith, the Stinger Motorsports driver, the number 54. Griffith on the clock, down into turns 1 and 2. First lap for Frank Griffith, top of the board, 29.928. Very quickly drops to third as Welch takes the top time. Then Bobby Jr. second fast. Welch at a 29.696. We'll see if Griffith's got anything more on lap 2. Big wiggle for Griffith. That's going to kill this lap. Bobby Jr., let's see if he picks it up. He'll cross the stripe. And he'll go pole. 29.494 for Bobby Hamilton Jr. He'll set fast time. Vincent Short in the very patriotic number 15. 29.94 his first lap. Second lap, fourth quick. Pickup for Vincent Short, 29.76. Josh Ingram with a 95. His first lap puts him ninth quick. Dips it just below that yellow line as Will Jones goes pole. 29.488. Just barely edging out Bobby Jr. So it's Jones and Hamilton on the front row for now. Check up there for Ingram across the line. Didn't think he had enough. 30.371. He'll sit in the 11th spot for now. Now Will Hewitt in the number 33 Ford Mustang. Hewitt goes 7th quick, 29.79. Pole speed still Will Jones, 29.488 seconds. Tom Barish cracks the top 10 with an 8.59. So far, the top 15 all under the 30-second mark. Peyton Wagoner 16th with a 30.033. Hewitt across the stripe on his second lap. Goes fourth, 57. And Derek Runge in the number 99. Eighth quick, 29.819. Derek with a win last week at Phoenix. 2 weeks ago, that is. He'll cross the stripe here with a 29.553. He'll go fourth, quick. Rodney Roberts now. Front row still Jones and Hamilton Jr. And Roberts goes ninth, 29.801, just as the session expires. That time will count. Qualifying in the books. So with that, we know what time it is. It's time for our starting grid here from Nashville Super Speedway. On the pole position with a lap time of 29.488 seconds, it's the number 46 Bradford Aeroworks driver, Will Jones. Outside, front row from Bobby Hamilton Racing, missed it by 6/1000ths of a second. It's the 25 of Bobby Hamilton Jr. Row number 2, it's Tom Pinnell and last week's winner, Derek Runge. Row 3, it'll be Will Hewitt and Derek Welch. Row 4, it's LZ Daly and Vincent Short. Row number 5 will be the 9 of Rodney Roberts and AJ Rogers. Starting from the 11th position, it's the 55 Num Thumbs Racing driver of Tom Barish and Alan DeFries. 13th starter, it's James Benge and Frank Griffith in 14th. 15th will be Josh Ingram, 16th Cole Ansley. Matt Nicholson, 17th. Peyton Wagoner will start 18th. David Bradford, 19th. He'll have to serve a penalty at the beginning of this race from his incident last week. Jason Steptoe will start 20th. And 21st, shotgun on the field, is the number 5, Mark Truxell. Your starting grid here from Nashville Super Speedway. Everybody getting gridded up here, waiting on Derek Runge and looks like Rodney Roberts to make the grid. Well, we can get underway. Still waiting on Derek Runge and Rodney Roberts. Now we got Derek waiting on the 9. And now we have a full grid here. Pace car should start to roll away with the field in tow in just a moment. One pace lap before we see the green flag, unless something changes. Before we get underway here, we'll take another look at our race details for tonight. 115 laps the distance. Stage break at lap 30. There'll be no fast repairs. 3 attempts at a green-white checkered finish if necessary. Drivers with an unlimited tire supply tonight and a full load of fuel. Pace car makes the hard left into pit lane. We're ready for the start.
Ready, green flag.
And there it is, green flag in the air. Field clean through the first 2 corners in the back straightaway, now into 3 and 4 for the first time. It's Will Jones, Tom Pinnell, Hamilton, Runge, and Hewitt, the top 5. Back to start finish, the 46 will lead lap number 1, but Pinnell jumps to the outside, looking for the race lead. Don't know if he'll have enough here, but he hangs right on the right side of the 46 through turns 1 and 2. Just about side by side with Pinnell, and nose out in front into the 3rd corner. Bobby Hamilton Jr. now going to try and go around the outside on Jones, and the caution is out.
Good job, bud. Tell me what you got quickly.
And it looks like Mark Truxell involved in this one. This is a very timely caution here for David Bradford as he was serving his, I believe it was a drive-through penalty for the number 13. And it looks like he was able to serve that penalty right prior to the yellow flag coming out. Let's take a look here what happened to the 5. Oh, this is just getting caught up in it. So it looks like Frank Griffith gets caught out. Changing lanes abruptly there in front of the 10. That's Matt Nicholson. Truxell was doing all he could to turn hard left to avoid contact with Griffith, but slams the right side to the left side of the 54. First caution of the night. With that, it's got Pinnell and Hamilton Jr. on the front row now, with Jones, Runge, and now Daly back in P5. So lights on the iRacing pace car have gone off. So next time by, we'll be back green flag racing. Noticing a different color scheme here on the 25 of Hamilton Jr. this week. Looks like Corson Fire and Security on the number 25. All right, doubled up, ready to go here. Pace car's going to come to the pits. Barney with the green in hand. See if we get a longer green flag run here than just a couple of laps. Green flag in the air. We're back racing from Nashville. Jr. looking to the inside of Will Jones here. Will really not putting up a whole lot of a fight at the moment. Meanwhile, Pinnell starting to put some distance on these two as they run side by side behind him. On board with Will Jones. We got Chris Klein in the chat, says, have fun tonight. Unfortunately, vacation plans kept me from being there tonight. I don't know if that's unfortunate, Chris. Vacations are kind of fun, usually. So top three now, it's Pennell, Jones, and Hamilton Jr. Will is able to take back that second spot from Bobby Jr., or at least prevent Bobby from getting it away from him. Seems like the car starting to come to him, a little more comfortable at the wheel of that 46. Bobby's right there, just about a yard off the back bumper. A little less as they get into the corner, almost some contact. Bobby with a big checkup to avoid pushing into the 46. Meanwhile, last race's winner, Derek Runge, in fourth position, just ahead of Will Hewitt. And it looks like we got a problem. Ingram, slow on the racetrack, throwing grass up onto the speedway. Might have had a shortcut through the grass in the tri-oval. So you can catch what happened with the 56 just a moment ago. Oh, just loose all by himself. Straightens it out. Drifting through the grass. Comes back on without really any major incident. He's going to lose some track position and some hurt pride. Ingram back in 18th. Battle for second again. Bobby Jr. going back to the whip here, trying to take it from Will Jones. Gets it done. Let's move to 25 up into the second spot. Clean and clear, the 46. Further back to Rodney Roberts. Battling it out with the 6 of LZ Daly. Oh, had to check up there. A little loose for the 6. Derek Welch will take advantage. Look into the outside. A.J. Rogers in the 57. He's coming into this picture as well. Man, LZ's real loose. I want to stress, we've talked about this a bit, the majority of the series that Track Limits broadcast for, they're fixed setup series and leagues. This is not the case here. This is an open setup series. These drivers all have the opportunity to make adjustments to their car before or during the race. So everybody's handling characteristics likely to be a little different. They all have an opportunity to get a baseline setup to play with, but it's on them to make the adjustments. On board with Derek Welch. This is back in the 8th spot. Derek's down 2 from the start, working on the 6 of Daly.
Yellow's out.
And we got a caution on the speedway.
Now, Jersey. Get more acclimated.
Nicholson stopped here just shy of start finish in the grass. Just before the caution, Chris Klein mentioned Tom Barish running strong in 10th. Really has figured some things out lately. We'll keep an eye on the 55 as this race progresses. Well, let's take a look here what happened with the 10 from Matt Nicholson just a moment ago. So we'll back it up a little bit here. You saw it pretty much as it went down, but full speed here. The 10 just gets loose. Might have been trying to close the door on Benj. But as the 10 started to come around, Benj got into the back of him, sent him all the way around, and subsequently put himself in the fence as well. So, 2-car incident here for our second caution of the night. From that angle, it's pretty significant. He got in the wall pretty hard. Looks like Frank Griffith may have followed him up and got a piece of the safer barrier as well. But through that, we've got some pit stops underway. Tom Pennell, Bobby Jr., Rodney Roberts all stay on the racetrack. This is an interesting situation here for the top three as Will Jones has to back it up a hair in his pit box to get the crew around to pit the right side of the car. He's going to put 4 tires on Sunoco race fuel. He's going to lose some time here with that small mistake. He's going to lose about 4 or 5 spots. Oh, and in reverse still. Will Jones with 2 uncharacteristic mistakes here in pit lane. Drives it a little too deep into the pit box, has to back it up, but leaves it in reverse. Dropped the jack and backed up. Lucky he didn't have anybody behind him at the time. That could have been a major disaster for the 46. As it is, he's going to go from the top 3 here back to 14th during this cycle of pit stops. Again, the top 3 stay out. That was Tom Pennell, Bobby Hamilton Jr., Rodney Roberts. Don't know that we've really had a long enough run here to get an idea of what kind of fall off we're going to see with the tires here from new to old, but we're getting ready to find out. The top 3 out on the original set they started the race on. Everybody else coming down to take tires and fuel. Looks like Tom Barish, though, he opted for some strategy here. A 9-second stop. That might have been fuel only. If anything, tire-wise, it would have been right sides only. Nevertheless, that would have been pretty quick for rights as well. We shall see. We are ready for the restart here. Field doubled back up. Lights are off. Pace car heads to pit road. Barney with the green in hand. We're ready to get racing again here from Nashville. Lap 21 about to go up on the board. There it is. Green's in the air. Pennell on the gas. Oh, Ingram trouble off turn number 2. And he'll just kiss the inside safer barrier. Straighten it back out. Get caught back up. No yellow. Ingram trying to gather it back and get it to the racetrack. Top 4 single file. It's Pennell, Roberts, Hamilton, and Hewitt. Meanwhile, Tom Barish not able to hold with those top drivers there after he got just fuel only. 4 tires definitely showing out a little better as they go 3 wide into turn 3. And here comes David Bradford, bottom of the racetrack, in the Crown Apple, number 13. Will Jones now to the apron of the racetrack. He'll go 3 wide with Rogers in the middle and the 8 of Peyton Wagoner up top. Will Jones knifing his way through here, and further up front, Bobby Jr. steps out, and behind the pack, Alan DeFreeze having a moment. He'll slide through the grass. Will he keep it out of the wall? He does. Will Hewitt now up into the 3rd spot. First driver out there on fresh tires. We'll say, though, Pennell and Roberts holding their own there with the older set. On board with LZ Daly. LZ battling with Bradford now, this for the 7th position. Bradford alongside, looks like Colt Ansley. Bradford will sneak to the left rear, but no, he'll tuck in behind a Daly down the backstretch. Oh, one car in the wall ahead. There's the 99. I believe Derek Runge scrapes the wall. He battles with Derek Welch. They're side by side down into one. This all happening right behind Bobby Hamilton Jr. in fourth. A little bit of contact. Derek Welch might be going around. He's dirt tracking it through turn two, straightens it out, but he'll lose some track position. Meanwhile, Bradford still trails the 6 of LZ Daly, was not able to take that spot away. Meanwhile, Will Hewitt reeling in Tom Pinnell, looking for that race lead. About just under 0.3 of a second back. Car length and a half, maybe 2 back to the 33. Again, we are approaching our stage break. Again, that'll be at lap 30. Oh, big time wiggle for Rodney Roberts. He straightens it out. A little tank slap, but he continues on. Roberts holds on to the 4th spot, but he's got a trio of cars behind him. Bradford, Runge, and Daly all looking for the spot. They battle it off the corner. Coming back to start finish. Runge in the middle. Bradford on the bottom. Roberts up top. Battle for the race lead as Roberts goes around off turn number 2, and the caution will be out. Big time wreck.
Save us a little here. Nice and smooth. Cool your tires off. Get your fans on.
Will Jones in it. AJ Rogers, Colt Ansley. Will Jones got a piece. Oh, Roberts dog tracking considerably here. Rear suspension definitely bent on the 9. Look at that. You always want a little bit of yaw in these race cars, but not that much. Gotta say, Roberts is doing a good job getting it back around here, considering. Wow. Right rear definitely towed out, and we're not talking about thousands of inches here. We're talking 3 or 4 or 5 full inches towed out on that right rear. Well, let's take a look. We just saw it unfold here a moment ago. Big time chain reaction crash. Roberts really getting the bulk of it. Vincent Short got in this as well. Short almost snuck through. So again, we were supposed to have our stage break at lap 30s. This will likely serve as our stage. So now Matt Nicholson will pit from second. Some heavy hitters taken out here early here at Nashville Super Speedway. Again, only 33 laps in. The caution coming out on lap 29. Looks like it was A.J. Rogers, Vincent Short, Tom Barish, Cole Ansley, Will Jones, Rodney Roberts. Elsie Daly was involved in this. Pace car heads to pit lane. We'll get this thing back underway. Pinnell will lead the field back to green. Hewitt on the outside. Row 2, his last race's winner, Derek Runge, Bobby Jr., and then David Bradford and Derek Welch. Big jump for Pinnell. Looks like Hewitt may have tried to time it, had to check up. Stacked up that outside lane. Caution certainly helping the 71 of Alan DeFries as he was able to get caught back up and now finds himself just outside the top 5. In a battle with Derek Welch. Battle for second. Hewitt and Runge side by side. Hewitt in the green number 33 on the top lane. So Hewitt gets clear, takes sole possession of second place, and Bobby Hamilton Jr. now clears the 99 as well, so move Bobby up into third. Oh, loose off of 4. Runge hangs onto it, though. Bobby Jr. runs the fastest lap of the race that last time by, a 29:46 for the number 25. Now the battle for second. Bobby looking to the inside of Will Hewitt. Gets a big-time run off of turn 4. We'll have the spot all but clear. Now clear into turn 1. So Bobby Jr. up to the second spot, looking for more. Going to start hunting the front, and a big wiggle out of the leader, Tom Pinnell. He chases it up the racetrack, keeps it out of the wall. On board with Bobby Hamilton Jr. Again, a home race for Bobby. Very interesting throttle control getting down into turn number 1. He's pretty much doing a full lift into 3. Take a listen to the throttle trace again here as we get down into turn 3. It's going to be a full lift. Now back at it, gentle. A little burp in the middle of the corner, now wide open. Now when he lifts into one, it's almost like 50% throttle and then a full lift. Listen. Interesting. So 41 laps complete here at Nashville Super Speedway. Tom Pennell's been the driver of dominance here tonight, but for how much longer? Bobby Jr. 2/10 off the back bumper in closing. Will Hewitt able to hang with the 25 for the time being? Pennell might just be running out of gas, and I don't mean it literally. Chris Klein says sound is in and out. Is it overall sound, Chris, or just the mic? I don't know if I'm peaking. It doesn't appear that I'm into the red at all. And I'm not skipping any kind of frames, and I don't have any audio warnings either. So everything visually looks good on my end. Just trying to get some information, see if we can diagnose this, if there's a deeper issue going on. Bobby's right there, just a few feet off the back bumper of the race leader as they come to complete lap 43. Will Pennell lead the next lap? Pennell's last lap was a 29.70. Bobby Jr.'s at 29.62. So Bobby's back there behind him in the dirty air and still running faster lap times. I think if he can get clear of the 07, he can probably check out. Bobby's got his hands full now. Will Hewitt was right there. Had to check up considerably to avoid contact, and real loose off of turn 2 is David Bradford. Now we'll take a look to the inside of the 33 for the third spot. Ingram in trouble again off of turn number 2, and this time it might be terminal damage to the 56. For now, we stay green as the leader's now off of turn 2. I think they'll get by without issue as Ingram's going to take it to the access road for pit lane. Take a look at it. Got the wall, and it just turns him hard right. I'm sorry, left, that is. Massive hit to the inside safer barrier. And yeah, Ingram's day likely to be done. Battle for the lead. Bobby Jr. to the inside on Tom Pennell. Through turns 3 and 4. Pennell loses the grip, goes up the racetrack, keeps it out of the wall. Still hangs on to the race lead at the stripe, but will he be there the next time by? Little bit of contact off turn number 2. Shoots Pennell up the racetrack again. This is a 4-car battle for the race lead here at Nashville. Pennell hangs onto it again, but now Will Hewitt working around the outside of Bobby Hamilton Jr. Slips up the track, out of the groove just a bit, has to check up. Hamilton pulls back forward. Hamilton and Hewitt continue to run side by side. This for the second position here at Nashville Super Speedway. Pinnell enjoying this as it takes a little bit of pressure off of him. He can just kind of race the racetrack in the meantime, not have to worry about defending. But I will say the driver that gets clear for a second likely to run down the 07. Still watching this battle for a second. Bobby Hamilton Jr. and Will Hewitt still continue to run side by side. David Bradford right there behind them both, waiting for an opportunity or a mistake out of one of these two, if not both, to capitalize on it. There it is. Not quite the mistake he was looking for. That was Bobby Jr. and Will Hewitt spin here at start finish.
David
Bradford gets a piece of this as well.
Did not hear him call that caution. Need you to check your radio connection. Check the one on your headset, on your headboard actually, on your left-hand side, on your headrest. 1, 2, 3, loud and clear. You got a good copy?
So fourth caution of the night. You saw it happen as we watched these guys race it out. Back this up a little further. I'm not sure if there was contact that started the 33 up the track or if he got loose on his own. It looks like he gets loose on his own. Little tank slap, bounces off the wall into the 25. Actually, I think Will was really doing his best to stay off the 25 there. That's what put himself into the wall, but then the ricochet off that safer barrier sent him down into Bobby. Now Bradford's going to get a piece of this. So is Derek Runge. He'll drive into the back of Will Hewitt. So fourth caution of the evening. This time involving Bobby Hamilton Jr., Will Hewitt, David Bradford, and Derek Runge. Drivers all battling up for the second position at the time. Looks like the 32 of James Benge will be the wave around car when we get the one to go. And there he goes. So now the front row still going to be Thomas Pinnell. Derek Runge will start to the outside. Then the second row, Derek Welch, A.J. Rogers. Row 3, Alan DeFries, Tom Barish. 4 is going to be Vincent Short and probably Bobby Jr. Yeah, Will Hewitt's in the pits. Bobby spent about 50 seconds in the pit lane, is still able to get back out there and restart inside the top 10. Hopefully was able to get all the damage repaired to the 25. Still got a lot of drivers trying to get caught back up. I don't know if we're going to extend the caution here. Drivers already in turns 3 and 4. And we've got the pace cars going to come down, so we're going to go racing. Looks like everybody got caught up in time.
Green, green, green.
Green flag is in the air. we got trouble again. Bobby Jr. involved with Vincent Short. Still no caution. James Benge parked as well. He's trying to get it fired up and to get going, and he'll just tow to pit lane. Bobby's going to grab a gear and head back out, but he's going to be about 11th here. Well, let's see what happened just a moment ago on the restart. Back it up a little further. Oh, Vincent Short looks like he missed the bottom. He slides up into the 25. LZ Daly is going to go off track here. Oh, Benj just drives right into the driver door of the 25 here. Going to be a night ender for the 32. The problem with the banking at some of these racetracks, they kind of clean the racetrack for you. If you go to the bottom and there's nobody there, chances are there will be by the time you show up. Back out front, Tom Pinnell continues to lead over the 99 of Runge. Derek Welch, Rogers, and Alan DeFries in 5th. 59 laps complete here. We are past halfway here at Nashville Super Speedway. We're going to step aside, get our break out of the way. We'll be back after this.
I met Marcos Garza when we were doing radiothons for St. Jude Children's Research Hospital. We needed sponsors to help us raise money, and he's always the first one to jump in. I would describe Marcos and his team as upstanding, someone you can trust, and he is just a genuine guy.
Marcos has been very generous. He has a genuine concern for people. You need somebody that cares about you. And that's what Marcos is, and that's pretty much what this firm is.
The Garza Law Firm. Let us help.
met Marco Scarza when we were doing radiothons for St. Jude Children's Research Hospital. We needed sponsors to help us raise money, and he's always the first one to jump in. I would describe Marcos and his team as upstanding, someone you can trust, and he is just a genuine guy.
Marcos has been very generous. He has a genuine concern for people. You need somebody that cares about you. And that's what Marcos is, and that's pretty much what this firm is.
The Garza Law Firm. Let us help.
Back in Nashville Super Speedway, 68 laps up on the board. Pinnell continues to lead, and really starting to see some daylight between him and the 99 of Derek Runge. 1.9 plus seconds, almost 2 to get down into turn 3. There it is, 2 seconds the advantage for the 07. Derek Welch working around the 57 of A.J. Rogers. Not quite clear, but this now a battle for the 3rd spot. Welch unable to complete the pass, tucks back in for a moment now in turns 3 and 4 again. We'll go back to the bottom of the racetrack. Welch can't get it done. Big wiggle out of Alan DeFries behind the 1. He's battling now with Tom Barish. Barish in the number 055. Monster Energy Camry. AJ doing a good job hanging on the outside of Derek Welch. Not going to let the 1 get clear. Very close racing here at Nashville Super Speedway as the field now in turn 3 again. These two running side by side. I almost wonder if they're holding up DeFries and Barish here because they closed the gap pretty considerably, at least on corner exit. Both Rogers and Welch driving it deep into the corner. Just like that, Pinnell has extended his lead out to 3.2 seconds over second place Derek Runge. This the battle for 3rd, and Derek Welch, he was clear and he is clear. Crossover from Rogers, takes a look to the bottom. Welch closes the door. .75 laps in here at Nashville, and Welch gets the wall. Pretty flush hit for the 1 of Derek Welch. Allows Rogers to close back in, though not alongside. Meanwhile, Alan DeFries there in the 5th spot. He seems to have his hands full. That 71 machine has stepped out on him a bunch of times. Meanwhile, further back in the field, 8th position, David Bradford, trying to work his way back up front. Ronnie Roberts in tow. Now Roberts shown in the 14th position. He's not a lead lap, not a position out on the racetrack for Bradford. Laps winding down here at Nashville Super Speedway, and the longer we go, the better the 07 is. Certainly a long run car for Thomas Pinnell. Bradford was able to catch and pass the 8 of Peyton Wagoner. Now move David up into the 7th spot. Wagoner took a look, takes another look into 3, but nothing doing. Battle for position here still. 7th place at stake. David Bradford has it. Wagoner wants to take it back. So we got the green flag here, lap 55, the restart. Again, full load of fuel, 100% load of fuel on board these ARCA cars here tonight. See how far that will carry them. Again, we're at lap 82. Bobby Hamilton Jr. has reeled in David Bradford. Now it gets to the inside here. Bobby's going to take the spot. Bradford certainly does not have the pace that he had earlier on. And Bobby, even with his 2 incidents here tonight, definitely has the faster car at the time being. Last lap for the 25, a 30.65. Sorry, a 30.15. 30.20 this time by for Bobby Jr., a 30.90 for Bradford. So David's about 7/10 off the pace there compared to the 25. And realistically, Bobby Jr. running lap times right in the ballpark of the race leader, Tom Pinnell. Pinnell ran a 30.10, so only about a 10th quicker than Bobby Jr. back in 8th. So we get another caution, get these guys bunched back up. Bobby Hamilton Jr. still not out of this, even after having some miscues in the early running of tonight's race. Bobby now to the inside of Wagoner. So Bobby now up into the 7th spot. He's got about 6.6 seconds to the next group of drivers here. Tom Barish will be next on the list as he runs in P6. Just ahead of Barish, though, Alan DeFries and A.J. Rogers. This battle just won't end. They're still side by side. DeFries on the bottom in the number 71. They fight it out now for the 4th position. Oh, a little bit of contact between DeFries and Rogers. I'm starting to hear some drivers save some fuel. I'm right on board with Derek Welch because he's the next closest car. Let's listen. In fact, we'll watch the tack. If it drops down, he's doing the lift and coast right about here. Nope. I haven't been in a car in a while. But he's definitely doing it lift and coast, so Derek's trying to save some fuel to extend the range, shorten up that final stop. Or maybe he's good to go. If he can just save a lap or two, he might be good to the finish without another pit stop. So we'll have to wait and see how this plays out. Welch running in P3. So DeFries, for now, has won the battle. It's taken the 4th position and is now clear of the 57 of A.J. Rogers. A lot of drivers out of this right now. The 32 of Benj, Cole Dansley, Frank Griffith, Jason Steptoe, Mark Truxell. Steptoe, I believe, having an issue early on. Not related to anything really on track. It appears he had a problem with iRacing kind of booting him out of the system. So 24 laps to go here from Nashville Super Speedway. Thomas Pinnell continues to dominate. A.J. Rogers has a little moment there off of turn 4. Rear end steps out. He hangs on to it. A little correction there. I think it Ice E in the chat is actually Cole Dansley, not Jason Steptoe. Thomas Pinnell now a 5-second lead over second place. He is just in cruise control. As long as he stays clean, nothing crazy happens, he'll be good to go. Still has to make it to that last lap and that checkered flag to cash in a victory, but everything looking pretty good so far. Bobby Hamilton Jr. still back in the 7th spot. He's cut another full second into the deficit to Tom Barish. Reeling in the 0.55, slowly but surely. Last lap for Bobby was a 30.44, a 1/10 and a half faster than Tom Barish, and about 2/10 slower than race leader Pinnell. Bobby, the 3rd fastest car on the racetrack right now. .19 laps to go here at Nashville. 10 cars still on the lead lap as Vincent Short now just goes down a lap. Looks like Peyton Wagoner may have had a moment fairly recently. See if I can catch this here. He was riding in behind Bobby Jr. Oh, Bobby got the wall. Wagoner tried to check up to not make too much contact. I think he got in the back of the 25 a little off-road excursion for the 8. He gets back at it. We stay green. Again, these drivers have been under the green flag since lap 55 as we run around here. Lap 98 just started by Thomas Pinnell. And to confirm, yes, it was Colt in the chat. Icy is Colt Ansley, not Jason Steptoe. I don't know where I got that from. Colt says broken lower control arm in that crash. You got more than just a control arm. That thing was not happy. Meanwhile, Matt Nicholson going to come to pit lane here. If this is any indication as to fuel on board with these cars, this could be a planned pit stop for the 10, which means everybody and their brother is going to need to come down to pit lane for service, at least for fuel, and likely take some tires. Nicholson in the box. So 4 tires and Sunoco Racing fuel for the 10. Matt Nicholson. He'll head back on out. He's good to go. That's his final stop of the night. Good looking paint scheme on Tom's car tonight. Pinnell's transmission center on that 07. Pinnell just running a wonderful race, but as we watch some of the lap times here, Pinnell ran a 30.59 the last time. Derek Runge almost 2/10 faster with a 30.40, and Derek Welch faster still with a 30.35. So Bobby Hamilton Jr. is going to head to pit lane. This could be the indicator here to see if this is a planned stop for the 10 and now the 25. Left side tires, interesting. That's it. 2 tire change for Bobby Jr. Left sides only for the 25, trying to gain some track position here. If anybody can drive it on lefts only, it's the driver of that number 25 Ford Mustang. Back out front, though, Tom Pinnell, still waiting to see him come to pit lane, and the deficit back to second is still shrinking. It was over 5 seconds. Now it's about 4.7. Pinnell still 30.72 his last lap. Runge a 30.28. I think we're going to see the 07 come to pit lane here sooner than later. You don't want to give up too much track position on the old tires. You might have hurt them. Ten laps to go for Thomas Pinnell. I'm going to go on board here with Tom and see if he's doing the same thing we saw Derek Welch doing, trying to save some fuel. He's definitely cut some lap time down to 30.94 the last time. Is he trying to stretch this all the way to the end? Oh, yeah, he's definitely driving this thing different. I don't think he's even getting wide open. He's trying to save some fuel. He's shed a lot of lap time. 2.9 seconds now back to Derek Runge. 9 laps to go. I don't know if he can save enough to make it to the end while maintaining his position. Almost better doing the lift and coast here. So those drivers that made the pit stop here have now gone down a lap. Bobby Hamilton Jr., Matt Nicholson most notably. Vincent Short, LZ Daly pick up a couple of spots in that exchange as they stay on the racetrack. But here comes A.J. Rogers now to pit lane. Well, that's interesting. Rogers, I don't know if he missed his pit box. Interesting. Okay. So, 6 laps to go for Thomas Pinnell. Does he have enough fuel to make it to the very end? Final pit stop so far for the 07. Last pit stop, lap 53. It was 4 tires and fuel for the 07. But now you see the 99 of Runge in the same frame. Only 8 cars still on the lead lap. It's Tom Pinnell, Derek Runge, Derek Welch, Alan DeFries, Tom Barish in the top 5, Will Hewitt 6th, Peyton Wagoner 7th, David Bradford 8th. First car 1 lap down to 9th, Vincent Short, and then A.J. Rogers in 10th, who just drove through pit lane. I'm still not sure the situation there. He stays out on the racetrack. May have had a penalty to serve that we weren't aware of, but either way, he's still back out there. Pinnell into some lap traffic now as he gets by David Bradford. Now Peyton Wagoner next on the list. A little bit of draft will actually help the 07 here with the fuel conservation strategy. Pinnell has picked up the pace now. He's back to a 30.19, so faster than Derek Runge by about 10th and a half. Runs a 30.30 this time, a little less than a 10th and a half quicker than second place. So they have saved enough fuel to make it all the way to the end here as he's back on the power. Two laps to go for Thomas Pinnell to cap off a dominant performance here tonight. The only question that remains is, does he have enough gas? A lap and a half to go for the 07. Definitely not running it as hard as he can. He's a little slower than Runge that last time. Now crosses the stripe. Consistent lap, though, a 30.54 versus the previous lap's 53, but still a 10th and a half quicker than Derek Runge. 2.2 seconds the advantage with 1 final lap, not even a full lap. Half a lap to go for Tom Pinnell. Started in the second row in third place, was not long before he saw the race lead, and now he's through 3 and 4 for the final time. He'll come up the banking here looking for a checkered flag. Tom Pinnell's going to win it at Nashville. Derek Runge will come home in the second spot with Derek Welch crossing the stripe in third. Runge comes in, gives a little love tap to the back of the 07. Congratulations. Finally got enough front brake in that thing to light up the rear tires. Man, they were sticky. Very happy Thomas Pinnell. Bobby Jr. to come in and congrats. And that'll do it for the race. We'll step aside, get our break out of the way. We'll be back with our top 3 finishers in the booth after this. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Basket can't defend. He's got the outside line for the second part, and he can't hold on.
Going the long way around. We're going to be 3 wide for the lead as they all come to the line. Who is going to take it in the end?
And here comes Lockwood. He's going to make the move to the outside. Quinn tries to force him off a little bit, but there he goes. It's going to be side by side through turn 1.
Will he be able to cover him off? He does. Weaving back to the left-hand side. Reynolds is trying everything. The kitchen sink is being thrown at it.
They're leaning on each other. Coming into turn number 3. It's going to be a drag race through 3 and 4. Coming back to the line. Here comes Frisch on the bottom.
Richard's going to hold the inside. Tries to be the late breaker here. They're going to be side by side through the final chicane. They bang doors, but keep it clean.
As they're still 4 wide on the run down into the back straightaway. Demerit's looking for a line as well. What is going on in Michigan?
Novak into the fence. They're still beating and banging.
Oh
and to the line.
He is much faster coming through there. Is there damage on Challenger? Abramitis is ahead. There's going to be a race to the line. Who is going to get it?
Need insurance coverage that's built for speed? Frank Yea's office in South Charleston has your back. Whether you're blazing down the highway, protecting the home you've built, or setting up a legacy for your family, we've got the coverage you need.
I met Marco Scarza when we were doing radiothons for St. Jude Children's Research Hospital.
Back at Nashville Super Speedway, race 5 in the books, and Michael Pinnell has been the winner tonight. A dominant performance by the 07. Yes, we had a little information change here. It's not Thomas Pinnell, it's Michael Pinnell. We got that corrected so it displays properly. But let's do it. Let's get a word here with our race winner, driver of the 07 Pinnell Transmission Center Ford Mustang. It's Michael Pinnell. Michael, it's Steve with Track Limits. You got a copy?
Loud and clear, buddy.
Mike, congratulations, man. A dominant performance here tonight. Third place starting position and certainly most laps led. Is this just a track that's right in your wheelhouse? It kind of fits your driving style. What was the key to success here tonight for you?
Well, Bobby Hamilton Jr. He does all the setup work, and man, that's pretty cool to win. I've been fighting and staying aggravated with this deal because I can't find any luck, or get put out early, or just something stupid like that. But it's awesome to get my first win in the league at my home track. I live here in Portland, Tennessee, so Nashville's my hometown, and so it feels pretty good to win there.
Certainly an impressive run. It was certainly no fluke. You got it done here, and it was very impressive, man. You led the most laps. Can you carry some of that momentum into Indianapolis Motor Speedway here in a couple of weeks?
Man, I'm going to try. I don't have a whole lot of laps around that place, so we're going to see what happens.
Certainly looking forward to it. Michael, congratulations, man, on the win. Who do you want to thank before we let you go?
Definitely Bobby Hamilton. Sorry, my dog's barking in the background.
That's all right.
But definitely Bobby Hamilton. Like I said, he does all the setup work, and he studies these things and knows what makes him turn, and he's pretty good at it. I'm still trying to figure it all out, but I'm glad he brought me aboard and let me race on his stuff.
All right, Mike. Well, thanks for talking to us. Congratulations again, and good luck next week.
Thanks, man.
Mike Pinnell, your race winner here at Nashville Super Speedway. Next, we're going to talk to last race winner, second place this week, Derek Runge, driver of the number 99. We'll get a word with our runner-up. Derek, it's Steve with Track Limits again. How are you?
Good. How are you doing, sir?
Doing good, Derek. Congratulations. First, last race, second tonight. Walk us through it this evening. A fourth place starting position. You clearly had a fast car here tonight. Was there anything you could have done differently to reel in that 07?
Yeah, I should have started saving fuel a little later. I noticed we could make it, so I started early, and he still had a lot of tire, so it just put a big gap in the interval, because he didn't realize it until late, and by the time he saved it, he saved enough. I couldn't only make up about 4 seconds, so if I would have just started a little bit later, knowing that I could make it, I would have probably been all right, but just started saving fuel way too early, lost too much track position on track.
Well, second place, still a solid night for points as far as that's concerned. And then 2 weeks from now, we go to Indianapolis Motor Speedway, another track that can tend to yield some fuel strategy. Maybe you learned something tonight that helps you get to victory lane there.
Yeah, I think I definitely learned a little bit. It's the first time I've actually been able to do a race where we had to save fuel to make it to the end in this car. So, done it in other cars, but not this one. So, learned a little bit, and the Indy's definitely got that to it.
All right, Derek. Well, again, job well done. Runner-up finish here at Nashville Super Speedway. Who do you want to thank before we let you go?
Just everybody at the league who puts everything on. I know it's been a little rough for me a couple weeks, especially on the fixed series, but just everybody that puts on the league, everybody at West Lenore, everybody at Rodney on his team. Yeah.
All right, Derek. Well, that'll do it, man. Thanks for talking to us. Good luck in a couple of weeks.
Thank you, sir.
It's Derek Runge, your runner-up here at Nashville. Next, we're going to talk to old DW, the driver of the number 1 Toyota Camry. We'll see if DW wants to chat with us here in the booth. Derek, it's Steve with Track Limits. You got me?
What's up, bud?
Derek, congrats, man. 3rd place finish, 6th place starting position. Always good when you're moving forward. Walk us through your race. It wasn't too really eventful, at least from what we saw, but some battles that you had to work your way through. You ended up the victor in those battles. You drove it home and held on to that 3rd place finish. Tell us about your race.
Yeah, I was just basically just waiting for everybody to take themselves out in front of me, I guess. Very hard to pass. Couldn't hardly pass nobody. I was just being patient, keep the tires, and I don't know how those guys kept the fuel they did. I was clutching the entire last run right there, trying to just make it to the finish line. I ran out right at the finish line. I have no idea how they saved as much gas as they did and still kept the speed much better than I am. But finished 3rd. Good night. Better than I thought I was going to do.
Certainly a solid finish. Always good when you get to talk on the broadcast post-race. We've got Indianapolis Motor Speedway here in a couple of weeks. Another track that's somewhat notorious for being difficult to pass at. Also, likely to run into some fuel strategy there as well. Maybe something to practice before we get to Indy?
Yeah, I practice as much as I can. I probably can this week since I'm off work all this week. But yeah, I love Indianapolis. Never ran in this class car, but I've always loved Indianapolis. I've always been pretty good there. So it's different in these tracks, more draft reliant. So I'm looking forward to it. I'm gonna let David Bradford give me the setup because I don't have time to do anything to these setups, and that's what I'm gonna race.
Well, always good to have some knowledge there behind the setup and strategy sort of thing here. So hopefully that'll run well for you at Indy in a couple of weeks. Derek, congrats again. 3rd place finish here tonight. Who do you want to thank?
Thank my teammate, Tom Barish. He ran pretty good as well, too. Me and him put a bunch of laps in right before the race and worked with him, get him faster and work with the setups. And thanks for the David Bradford and Hamilton putting on a good lead here. It's fun. Something to do on Sunday nights. And thanks for you broadcast, best in the business. And, do an excellent job.
All right, Derek. Well, thanks for talking to us, man. Good luck at Indy.
Thank you, sir.
It's DW, 3rd place finisher. He doesn't sound too happy about it, but that's just DW. He's fine. He'll move on to Indy and try to get after it, maybe pick up a win there as well. That's the end of our interview portion of tonight's broadcast. So let's get into our race results. Of course, we talked to our top 3 finishers. That was Mike Pinnell, not Thomas. Derek Runge was 2nd. Derek Welch was our 3rd place finisher. 4th place, that went to Alan DeFries. Tom Barish, a solid top 5 finish tonight. Will Hewitt was P6. Peyton Wagoner, 7th. David Bradford, 8th. 9th was Vincent Short. A.J. Rogers, 10th. 11th, Bobby Hamilton Jr. Elsie Daly was 12th. Matt Nicholson, 13th. 14th place was Rodney Roberts. Josh Ingram finished in the 15th spot. 16th went to James Benge. Will Jones dominant early, or fast early for that matter. He'll finish 17th, 81 laps down. Cole Ansley involved in a big wreck. He was 18th. Frank Griffith 19th. 20th, Jason Steptoe. And last but not least, the 5 of Mark Truxell finishes in the 21st spot. 113 laps down out of this one very early on. That'll do it here from Nashville Super Speedway. Thank you guys all for tuning in. Certainly join us here in 2 weeks. We'll be off next week for the 4th of July holiday. Wish you guys all a happy 4th. Keep all your fingers and toes, please. Don't get stupid with the fireworks. You can be a little careless, but just don't blow off your fingers, all right? Thanks for watching, everybody. We'll see you at the next one. Have a good night.